All right, cool. So how's the day been?
Pretty good. Spent about 2,000 with a profit of about 4.5.
Oh wow,
Big money.
big one. John, how'd your day go, man?
Oh man, it's been busy, man. It's been real busy.
Are you back home now?
Yeah, I just got in the door about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, John's been out. He's been out and about trying to travel and source as well. Uh, we had a good old talk the other night, all of us, about some people have asked me since then about the Amazon. I've been looking into buying on Amazon to sell on Amazon, like you showed me, Derek. I'm just, I don't know. I'm still confused on the best way of finding something.
You just gotta find the biggest drops.
So, like, when you mean like the biggest drops, do you look at how much Amazon's charging versus somebody else new, or what?
Usually, it's what Amazon is charging, and like what Amazon usually charge and what they're charging at that time. Because sometimes they just drop it just to get rid of it.
So
Then,
like so like when you're looking on it, um, like do you look and see where it says like Amazon, and then you look at the new sellers, maybe the prices are a lot higher than what Amazon's is? Is that what you look for?
sometimes, yeah, a lot. Amazon will be at a certain price, and then you look at the chart and see Amazon just came there down to this a certain price today, and then the rest of the sellers, the FBA sellers, will still be at the price Amazon used to be at. So a lot of times Amazon they only do that for maybe like 2 to 3 days sometimes, and
Uh,
then it go right back up to the normal price.
oh,
You,
okay.
you can get that information on Keepa, can't you?
And you get it on Keepa, you get it on Camel. Like I get alerts for a lot of products because sometimes it's products that I miss, and I'd be mad that I missed it, but I just set an alert for it, and then later on when it come back up again, I catch it.
Yeah, because you can spend 5 or 10 minutes on Keepa and just look at the whatever percentages you're looking for,
Yep.
and it'll just do from highest to lowest and decide how low a percentage you're willing to buy.
Yeah, but usually I go. What I do is I just browse Amazon, and I got the Keeper embedded in my page. So if I come
Yeah.
across a product that Amazon 2 days ago was down to $28 and the regular price is like $78, I set it at like $28, and then just out of nowhere, a couple months down the line, you slowly build up a lot of alerts, and then you'll start getting more and more of them the more you do it.
Right, but what the reason why I suggested Keepa was because they've already done that work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But a lot of times, people doesn't have them. They don't post the ones that you're looking for. Like they won't have them all up there right away. Like the one, if you go to Keep a Site, and you go look for biggest drops.
Uh-huh.
That'll start you down the rabbit hole. Like you'll click a couple things, but it's usually similar stuff on certain days when Amazon drops like certain toys. Like they might be dropping a certain line, a wave of Avenger toys down. Every toy in that line, they just dropping it for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But Keeper might only have like the first toy. They won't have the entire line. They won't show you that they're dropping the entire line.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mark, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good, man. Hey, we're talking about buying on Amazon and flipping on Amazon. Have you done that yet?
You crazy, man.
No, man, our boy Derek does it.
Yeah,
He's making some.
I've done a couple of Amazon flips. Sure, of course. Why not?
Yeah.
You just have to be careful about what you're buying. You got to do due diligence. It's just like anything else, right?
Yeah.
I had a heart attack moment the other night where when we got back from Dallas, when we met with you.
Yeah.
After cleaning Dallas out of those out of that one product, which was fun. I got back home and my best, most profitable item that I just went really deep on, Amazon decided to stick their toe in the pond, and it was absolutely terrifying. You know, so for me to make the returns that I want to make, I have to sell this item for about $50, and
Sure.
I prefer to sell it at like 55, 56 bucks. But and with that, I'm making about $35 profit per item, and I'm about $8 landed into Amazon, a little bit, maybe a little bit more. But Amazon decided that they had a couple of them, and they decided that they could sell them for $12. And that was so terrifying. Like I couldn't sleep that night, and fortunately what happened was the next day they apparently they had sold out of the few of them that they had. And it's so weird because I'm not even sure how they got a hold of them, because I know that I bought the last batch that the wholesaler had, and so it was really terrifying, So they're selling a product for 12 that I bought wholesale for 7 something, and then to get it in Amazon, I'm into it by like $8, and then with Amazon's fees and everything, I'd have been screwed if they stayed in that product at $12. So anyway, they got out of it, and I ended up dropping my price a little bit more to get the velocity up. And so as soon as I break even on the money that I've got invested into the buy for that item, I'm gonna raise the price a little bit and see if I can recoup some of the profit per item on those. But oh man, it makes me think long and hard about whether or not I'm gonna keep buying that SKU. Has anybody else had something like that happen?
Mm,
Not yet.
no, just that one item I found at Walgreens. It was the what's it called? Reusable K-cup thing. I sent some of those in. I sold one. I sent 3 of them in. I sold one, and then I got a notice like a week after that it's a copyright something. Like I think I'm trying to think of what they said it was. A
Yeah, but
patent.
you don't have to worry about that because you would have bought those retail, right?
Yeah, I bought those. Yeah, but I mean, still,
You don't
I
have to
still
worry.
lost out money on it. Not much though, but I still. That's the only situation I've ever had like that. That's somewhat like that.
Well, so did you sell out of them, or what did you do with them?
um, no, I told them to send them back to me, because they said they couldn't sell
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It was a restricted brand on Amazon. That's what you're saying.
them. It wasn't really restricted because I was ungated in it. It's just
So
I think I
there's a difference between being ungated in the category and like like you can't sell. I'm trying to think of an example, but like let's say you're ungated in health and beauty, right? You might not be able to sell like
Bliss.
Neutrogena brand or something like that, although you can sell Neutrogena,
gotcha.
but yeah, so that would be like a restricted brand inside of the category that you're ungated. So like I think I heard rumors that Tommy Hilfiger is like a restricted brand or something like that in clothing, and that kind of thing. You can get into Scan Power and ask people about that kind of stuff, but yeah, I got a cease and desist once for some headphones, and I actually tracked down the lawyer and we had a conversation. I said, look, I bought these things retail, so I think first purchase doctrine, allows me to resell them if I want to, and he said, yeah, you're right. And so, he goes, if you could just send me over a copy of the receipt, and I was like, fine, I'll send you the receipt, no big deal, and didn't hear from him again, which was good.
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't buy everything on that shelf. I mean, at least one of them sold.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
They had a lot of them, but at that time, I think I only had like $15 on me. They had them. I think they were $3 a piece or something. So I just
I mean,
snagged 3
this
of
is
them.
something that I got into. Like, I mean, I bought almost $1,000 worth of these things, and then by the time you pay for shipping and get it, get it all in house. I went fairly deep on these products or on this one SKU, and so I'm not talking about like $50 or something like that. It's a lot of money for me anyway right now for a single SKU, and to see Amazon come in and try to sell it for, I just don't understand that. Like there was actually a seller that logged in, and these things are selling really nicely at $50. And the seller popped in, and there's only like 4 or 5 of us selling the product, and he popped in and he started selling it for like $24.95 or something like that. It's just so crazy. Like he cut the price in half from the least expensive seller, and he left all that money on the table, right? Because he would have sold out of his whole inventory at $50, but he decided he was going to sell it at $25. Crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. Some people, put the prices up really high. I think that's a Lucy's thing. She thinks she has an issue with having her prices up too high. Has any of that? Have you did any sales today, Lucy?
Well, can you guys hear me? I'm not on mute, am I?
Yeah,
no, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I went in there and I loaded my prices, and guess what? I think I did something way too low. I think I did something wrong because I sold Raid spray on the merchant for 69 cents. So I know right there I am losing caboose money. I have to go back in there and see what I have to fix before I get another cheap sale. It always happens to me, right?
have you got all your prices fixed on App Eagle?
Yes, I did.
John, are you using that App Eagle?
Yeah.
And it's helping you, man. I'm seeing you getting sales left and right.
Yeah, but I'm shooting for the buy box.
Oh, that's how you're pricing it, is for the buy box?
Yeah. I'm chasing the buy box.
Are you making any profit?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, because basically, I think I said it in the last show that we had, was I talked to John Grollo, and he said, for me being a beginner, turn and burn, so you can accumulate more inventory, and then worry about trying to get larger profits once you have inventory. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not losing money on anything. There are items where the ROI is good, and then there's other ones where it's $3 to $5. But if I can keep blowing it out and bringing in more money, then that's what I'll do to get more inventory.
Yeah, if you're getting stuff that's flipping like as soon as it's hitting the warehouse, why not?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The worst day I've had, I guess, is going to be today. I thought it was going to be yesterday, but it's today. I'm at 211. That's the worst day I've had in 11 or 12 days. And I've had 1 over 400 and I think 5 over 300. So
that's awesome.
That's good for me.
Are you doing clothing also, or is it just everything else?
Just toys, health and beauty, and health and personal.
Okay.
That's what I was. That's what I was telling Scott. The health and beauty's flying off the shelf. I need to find some way to get more of that.
Yeah, the supplements, man. I can't believe how fast some of those supplements are going.
Yeah.
Mark, we had a question about clothing. How do you go about sourcing clothing? Scan it?
Yeah, could you be more specific? Like, I don't know. You go to a clothes. I don't mean to be a dick or anything, but you go to a clothes store and you
scan.
Yeah, I think maybe do they mean that like when they're using the Amazon app that the stuff isn't showing up, or Are they worried about margin or what's selling or?
Yeah, what's selling? They're asking, I mean, what do you look for? Do you go off your knowledge, or you just go off of what you're scanning and what you're finding?
Well, I think a little bit of both, right? You know, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty famous in this group for targeting a specific niche, right? But I think that what you can do is you can. Okay, so you have to be careful about what scanning tool that you're using, right? So you know, the Amazon tool is really not very good for scanning clothing or shoes. I mean, I'm sure everybody in this group knows that. If they've ever even, you know, even if they're not ungated in shoes, if they've tried to scan some shoes just for the fun of it, you know, it's really hard to find, you know, or when you scan with the Amazon seller app for those items to actually come up with any meaningful data, right? So when I very first got started and I didn't have the Inventory Lab tool, what I was doing was looking at rank and ratings. So, you know, I'd still scan the shoe or the clothing item, and then what I do is if the item came up at all or if the shoe came up at all, I'd look at what the rating was. So like if the shoe had, I don't know, 3 or 4 ratings, I'd very quickly put it back on the shelf, right? Because I'm not interested in like you know, like it might be a really awesome shoe, like 4 or 5 5-star ratings, hey, great, you know, but the velocity is probably not going to be there, right? Because you know, if you start looking at brands like Nike or some of the more popular shoe brands, you're going to see that the good shoes that are selling have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews, right? Because people like to review their clothing and they like to review their shoes. I hope I'm not giving out any bad data. This is just personally what I looked at. So if the shoe had a couple hundred reviews, then I was very interested in it, right? So then I would look deeper, you know, and I would say, okay, if I'm buying the shoe for $50, then I knew I needed to sell it. If I was going to make any profit at all, I needed to sell it for at least 75, right? So then I look at the data as much as I could to kind of get an impression about what I thought the shoe would sell for on Amazon, and I might have to do that using the actual buyer's app through Amazon, because Keepa might not have the data, Tractor might not have the data, you know, because with shoes and clothing, it's all specific to, you know, color, style, size, all that stuff. Like you might find some women's undergarments that are ranked, you know, 2,500, but you got to remember that those that every single size of that listing, they're basically taking, this is what I think they are calculating rank based on, is every size and every color. So every child listing in that master listing is determining what the rank is for that piece of clothing and those shoes, right? So a 2,500 rank might actually not be that great if you've got a size that people are not interested, or you get a color that people are not that interested, right? You might find yourself holding that inventory, but that's also okay too, you know, like, you know, maybe, you know, for example, T-shirts, they don't take up a lot of room, you know, you put them in a poly bag, and so you're not paying huge storage fees, right? Shoes are full of air, you know, inside the box, so they take up a little bit more room, so you got to be kind of careful about those. But, you know, it's just really, I don't know if this is too helpful, but that's kind of how I got started and started looking at things, was a combination not of the how awesome the piece of clothing was, but how many reviews the piece of clothing had. And then you got to be careful when you're looking, like let's say you're looking through the buyer app, you want to be careful that you're looking at that specific color and that specific size. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about with shoes. You know, like when you're scanning shoes, does it give you what size it is, or you have to kind of list that yourself?
Well, it just depends, you know. So like one of the things I like about the Inventory Lab Scout, and by the way, you know, we don't make any commission talking about Inventory Lab or anything like that, you know. So get it if you want, don't if you don't, you know. But what I kind of like about Scoutify is that it will when you scan the shoe, for example, it'll pull the child listing. It'll pull like this color, a 7.5 in this color, based on the UPC or whatever. Of course, you got to pay attention and you got to make sure that it's right. But you can look that up and get a pretty good idea. But what you have to understand is that the rank that you're looking at is for that entire listing, for every color, every style, and every size. So at least that's what I think it is, and I could be wrong. I'm not part of any I'm not part of any shoe and clothing Facebook group or mastermind or anything like that. This is kind of what I've been doing. So,
Yeah.
Is that kind of? Do you think that that'll be helpful to the person that asked that, or?
I think so. I mean, I'm still curious myself about doing shoes and stuff because I'm still learning. Because when I buy stuff, I try to stay underneath the top 3 or 5%. I don't try to go over that. So, like in clothing, when you're scanning, what are you looking for in your link, or does it matter? You look at the reviews.
Well, no. Sorry, I probably wasn't that clear about that. I look at a combination of the two. I'm looking at the number of reviews. Again, I don't care. Like, it could be a 2-star piece of clothing, but if it's got 1,500 reviews or something like that, I'm actually going to be pretty interested in it. There's a lot of people that, because you think about it, if an item has 500 or 1,500 reviews, how many people actually bought it, right?
Yeah.
So it's got pretty good velocity, obviously. So then, I'm looking at reviews to give me an indication of how well it'll sell, and then the number of them, and then I'm also looking at rank to see if it seems to be pretty positive. For myself, I try to buy. I try to stay under 2,500 if I can. I prefer rankings that are, obviously better than that. But I've bought some clothing items too that have been in the 30,000 to 50,000 range as well. And then of course if you can get a hold of a liquidation lot for undergarments and that kind of thing, you can do pretty well. Then at that point you don't really have you probably don't have a lot of opportunity to look up every SKU. You just you kind of gotta know what price point you want to be buying those types of clothing in order to make a profit, and that just kind of comes with experience, right? So I know that for panties, I'm looking to get into them at under $4. Then I'm pretty confident that I'll make my money back. For bras, I want to get into those under $8 to $10. Because it's now, of course, it depends on the brand too. Like, there's some bras that go for, oh my God, 50, 60, 70 on up, right? But if you're looking at your general brands, right, then you probably want to try and buy them, under $10, and then you're still taking a risk. It'd be better to get them at between 5 and 7. And I would like, if somebody came to me with a liquidation lot of $5 to $6 for bras or whatever, I'd be okay to pull the trigger on that, at least for $500 to $1,000 worth. I'd be willing to risk that, but only if they're name brands. Like, I'm not gonna do that for some off brand, right? The power of branding is huge.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I actually went and bought anything, toys or containers, or even like the boring stuff, like containers. It's been a long time since I bought anything that's like off brand. Just because it's cheap doesn't make it a good buy, right? Or just because the seller's app says that there's profit in it does not make it a good buy, So.
Nice.
Hey, how do you get to the YouTube display of this thing?
I posted it on the page earlier.
No, but the YouTube one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I must have missed that.
Yeah, you can click on that and just mute it so it doesn't echo. All right, so I actually took notes today. I got some messages and saw comments on the Facebook group. Uh, One thing that people want to know is how can we stay positive, and any of us can answer this. How can we stay positive in such a negative environment? You know, people always want money from you, uh, you know, for courses and whatnot, or you're having a bad day of sales, and you know, how can we keep positive and not want to give up on doing this? Anyone can answer. John?
I don't have any idea. I mean, I'm just looking to grow the money. If the money's growing, I'm happy.
Yeah, but I mean, just say you have 4 or 5 days. That's horrible, you know. What would make you keep on wanting to keep on doing this?
Well, like I said, I mean, I've only been doing this 2 months, so I mean that if I have a couple of bad days, which I've had a couple of bad days, I mean, I just keep going. I go and buy more.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be real honest with you. And a lot of times I'll ask more questions. Like I'll ask you a question, or I'll ask Scott a question, or whatever.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess because I try to stay positive about everything. I mean, basically, I mean, you have your ups and downs in business. You know, you're not always gonna make tons of money every single day. You know, if you did, everybody would be doing it. You know, you just gotta if you're not making sales, or uh, if you're not seeing that, then obviously something's wrong. If you have your listings up too high, um, also maybe you're not utilizing the Pinterest and Twitter links that are on your listing. You can actually click that and share your link over Twitter. I did that in the very beginning, and it helped me get. I mean, I'm not making tons of money now, but I mean, I'm making a decent amount, and it helped promote it. You can actually look on the reports page, and you can see how many times your page has been viewed. And if you sit down one day and just maybe spend an hour going through each one of your listings and sharing the link on Twitter or Pinterest, you'll see your views go way up. So I mean, that's another way of helping you sell stuff. I mean, it's just staying positive. I mean, you gotta if you're gonna be negative, you're gonna get negative outcome. Be positive, you get positive outcome.
One thing also, could I chime in? Could I chime in here, Chris? Too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You gotta understand that. I mean, I don't know how many people are on here that are doing this as a hobby, or because I mean, doing it as a hobby is fine, right? But if you want to actually build a business or something like that, you have to have the bigger picture in mind, right? So it doesn't do any good. It doesn't serve any purpose to become negative about, oh, my sales are down today or whatever, right? You just kind of go, oh, my sales are down today. I need to get more inventory in. I need to, you got to, or I need to check my pricing, make sure, because Amazon's a humongous free market, right? So, the market's going to determine the correct price for whatever you're selling. So, you got to look at the bigger picture, and if you run into roadblocks or you have problems or something like that, you just solve the problem, right? You solve the problem, you move on to the next thing, right? And you, like I said, becoming negative or disappointed or frustrated, I mean, I could have really, the other night when I saw my favorite SKU being undercut by Amazon for a price that I could not compete on, I guess I could have, don't get me wrong, I had a hard time sleeping.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet.
Because I had I have all this money in this one particular SKU, and it's kind of the first time I did that, where I had a lot of money in one item. But the next morning when I decided to get out of bed, I went and I logged into my Seller Central account. I took a look at the ASINs. I did like a cost analysis. I took I started to work the problem, and then I mean, ultimately, if I'd lost money on that SKU, it wouldn't have ended me. The sun still would have come up the next day. So
Yeah.
sales is sales is a small part of this business. It's not especially daily sales. I guarantee you, like the businesses that are buying millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in inventory, yes, they watch their daily sales, right? But they're looking at the bigger picture. That's how Walmart can clear stuff out for under wholesale, right? You think that anybody could ever sell anything for under wholesale if they were having heart attacks every time something didn't sell,
Yeah, because they've sold enough of the item, they can afford to do that.
Yeah, yeah. The reason somebody asked why didn't I buy the product from Amazon to flip is because I already had as much risk as I could tolerate in that product, and if Amazon didn't hop back out of it, I wasn't sure at that point if they were going to hop back out or not, So I had no desire to buy any more of it at all,
Yeah.
So, although it would have been interesting because I was talking to my wife about it, and the thought occurred to us that maybe, it's taken them a really long time to check in my entire shipment of that particular SKU, and I sort of wonder, I wonder if a couple of mine ended up in there, like how did they get the half a dozen that they sold if the supplier was completely sold out,
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not saying that anything funny went on. It was just we were curious about that. So
I'm kind of confused too. One of my shipments checked in yesterday. Last week I had issues of having missing items on my shipments. Now this week I saw I had like 20 extra items on my shipment. And so what would I do about something like that? And go and do the same thing, or just leave it alone?
I don't know. Like the only time I get really concerned is when I notice that when I'm shorted or something like that. And then I'll open up a case, ask them to investigate, and usually, it resolves just fine. And it doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, if I wait 24 to 48 hours, the issue resolves itself.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's sort of, as an insurance agent, I've learned that throughout the years, that sometimes, if there's something going on that's not quite right on the technology side of things, give it 24 to 48 hours, and most of the time it'll resolve itself.
Yeah. Let me see. What else we had? We had. I think this is the question on every show that I've seen on the internet about FBA. Getting started. How can you get started without having that much money to get started? Well, I've said before, what I did is I went around my house, gathered up DVDs and Blu-rays that I could carry to part ways with. I gathered as much as I could, and just look around your house and ship in stuff to at least get you some sales, and then feed off that. Like I started this with less than $50. And now my disbursement on Wednesday is almost $900. It's not some fantastic amount, but I mean that's a long ways from sending in some DVDs and stuff, So if that was my advice, giving it, look around your house, and also garage sales. People sell some good stuff for cheap. I mean, I found one of the things I sold in the beginning. I found the game GoldenEye for N64. You guys remember that game? But I bought GoldenEye for $2 at a garage sale, and it sold for $25 on Amazon. Now this was a year ago. I don't know what it's selling for now, but I mean that helped get some more money. And then each week I would have, some weeks I'd have $20 to buy stuff. Then the next few weeks I'd have $40, and it keep doubling. So that's my advice on getting started. If you don't have that much money to get started with.
Yeah, you don't have to have $1 million to get started, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you can start with $20. You can start. I mean, you can start with $1, right? I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but I started taking my kids with me to the. And I say kids, right? They're not really kids anymore. My daughter graduated last week, and my son is 16, I think. And but my son, he knows video games really well. I mean, I used to like to play video games back in the day. The N64 and the PlayStation 1. that kind of thing. But my son, he kind of like he's got a subscription to Game Informer, and he knows video games, right? So one of the things that we kind of like to do on the weekend is go to, don't tell anybody this, but, like go to Target and look at the end caps because they have video games on those clearance end caps, and I just asked Brian's opinion, or sorry, my son's opinion, like what do you think about this game? Or what he'll do sometimes is he'll go and he'll kind of line up all the video games on the end cap, and he'll start looking through them, and he'll go, no, this was really badly reviewed, this was really good, this was a really good game, this was a bad one, this was a good one. And then what I do is I scan the ones that he says are good, and those are like $5 sometimes, $10, and and then depending on rank and whether or not you can make a profit on it, you decide if you're going to buy the thing, right? When you're out of money, you stop spending it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of addicting, like I look at FBA. I've said it before. I look at it kind of like a virtual slot machine. You put your money into it, hoping to make more money than what you put into it. You can't keep on feeding it money if you don't have it. So that's when you go look around stuff at the house that you can part ways with and send it in. You can always buy the stuff back.
Yeah, Julie in the chat is talking about expenses. There's expenses with FBA fees and shipping and all that, and she's absolutely correct. But if you're using your tools correctly, you should be calculating that in when you're scanning.
Yeah, it'll pull it up in your Amazon Seller app, or if you have Inventory Lab.
Right, you have to make sure that you set the settings correctly. But like at the beginning, what I was doing is I was estimating anywhere from 50 cents to $1 per item to get the items to Amazon. And so if you're buying, let's say the item scans at $15 sale, right, and it's going to cost you $7, at wherever you're sourcing it from. And what I did at the beginning is I just added $1 to that. So I knew that if it said I was going to make $4, let's say, after the Amazon fees, because the cool thing about the Seller app is it's going to automatically work in your Seller fees, or sorry, the all the fees you pay on Amazon, with the exception of the monthly subscription, of course. But then I would just take $1 away from whatever the profit said, and what it said the profit would be. And so if it was saying I was going to make $4, I'd take away $1 to compensate for shipping or any other stuff that might happen. Like the cost of boxes, right? Or packing paper, or tape. All that stuff costs money. So I figured landed to Amazon was usually running me about $1 per item. And some people are more conservative; they're doing 50 cents. But I always wanted to have kind of the worst case scenario, so I always estimated $1 extra. So if the app said I was going to make $4, after I added that, or took that $1 away, I'd go, okay, I'm going to make $3 per item on this one, right? And if I was good with that, then I'd buy it. And it is. So.
All right, Derek, you have anything to say about how? I mean, you're doing amazing, dude. So, anything you can give advice on?
Well, you come as far as starting, because I missed the beginning of the question. I just starting, right?
Yeah.
Well, I say to everybody that I recommend, if you don't have money, then I would start with books, printing, and garage sales. Try to find like new items at garage sales. It's more work, but you spend your money a lot faster. That's the way I started. I started with books, then I started garage sales, and I started downloading some armies and videos. But I don't even like printing and stuff anymore because I don't have to clean and prep as much. You don't have to look through as much junk.
Yeah.
But I started with $150 for a book sale.
Cody, get your
Really good. Other than 15, probably about $1,500, I haven't put any more money into my business. Everything has been just a profit, all over profit.
Yeah, dude, you're doing amazing. I mean, you've only been doing it for, you said, like a year, right? Almost.
Coming up on a year, August 4th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. This-
I learned Ryan Grant, basically. A lot of stuff, I followed everything he said.
let's see. Had another question. Do you guys I mean, I don't sell on eBay anymore, but do you guys use any like Joe Lister or something like that to sell on both platforms? No.
I'm trying it out now. Uh, the wholesale thing, they gave us like a little membership so that you can get free 25 listings in that wholesale formula thing. I'm trying it out right now.
Yeah, we were talking to our buddy Mike the other night. He's supposed to be on a chat with us tonight, but maybe he'll hop in a little bit. But he does multiple channel fulfillments, and he'll send his stuff into Amazon, and then he'll have the same items listed on eBay as well. And then if he makes a sale on eBay, he'll just go and do like kind of like a drop shipping from Amazon to his eBay customer. Um, which
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do that too.
you do that too?
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty easy. It's I don't have anything right now that syncs my inventory. I've been looking at that. I'm thinking about giving App Eagle's inventory sync add-on a try. But yeah, I mean, I've done that with a couple products, not anything high volume yet, which is why I don't really need a sync tool, but it's easy, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't use any listings. Like, I got really hung up on that at the beginning. I was looking for tools for everything, and, I just went in there and figured out how to do a listing on eBay, and, I did it, and once you do one, you can do more. One of the things that I try to do is set up the permanent listings on eBay, with the buy it now or whatever listing, and then what you can do is you can send those to an auction listing. So I kind of have a strategy on how I do those, and seems to work pretty good, and so some of the items I drop ship from Amazon, and then other items I just ship from here, because it saves on, like, if I don't have to send it to Amazon, I keep that cost down a little bit. It just depends on what I've got and what the profit margin is. And all that.
Yeah, I was looking at. I mean, it's not that popular of a website, but like I was looking at Bonanza.com. I mean, I know it's not big. It's not as big as eBay or anything, but they automatically sync your Amazon listings to their website, and they have a lot less fees. And so, I mean, that could be another way you could sell. If you don't sell on eBay, you can get on Bonanza, and it's a whole lot cheaper than eBay.
Yeah, I'll
And,
check that out. Thanks. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, you can sync all of your Amazon listings, and they don't charge you listing fees. Um, you don't pay them anything unless you sell something. That's what I got from the website. I could be wrong. I mean, I looked into it a little bit. I just saw that you can sync your Amazon inventory to it and do the same thing. Because I know a lot of people saying eBay's changing a lot of policies and stuff. Uh, that's why I quit it. I just hopped out of that. Too many fees. I know Amazon has a lot of fees, but at least I can calculate that when I'm buying something.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, when
Yes.
uh, when Amazon does that multi-channel fulfillment, is your like an eBay customer buys it? Is it going out in Amazon boxes?
Yeah, I don't really worry about it too much. They've been doing that for years, and some of the larger sellers have been telling me that they don't worry about it either. And if they don't worry about it, I'm not going to worry about it. You know.
Well, the reason why I had an issue with that is, even on eBay, my rating's still 100%. But what happened was I started getting attacked with defects. My defect percentage went up to about 8% because of the Amazon boxes. Because I called eBay and I was like, my rating's 100%. The feedback is always great. Why am I getting all these defects? And he said, well, for example, today, 7 of the things that you sold, yes, they gave you great feedback, but they gave you defect ratings. And I said, well, the listing is the manufacturer's listing. The picture is from the manufacturer, so the only thing it could be is an Amazon box. And he said, there you go. I said, well.
That's weird. I've honestly
yeah,
maybe
my defects,
never gotten one defect from Amazon. So that's so weird.
I was at that particular time, I was selling 50 to 70 items a month that Amazon was sending to eBay customers. So I don't know. I mean, were you sending that much volume through a month?
No, not at all. I'm kind of using eBay as a liquidation thing. I mean, I think that the other thing too, I've been hearing from some of the groups that I'm in, is that there's a lot of buyers on eBay that know how to work the system, right? So you kind of gotta be conscious and you gotta be aware of that. But I'm not saying you weren't. I'm just like, it's a different type of buyer, I guess. A different type of market, which I really like. It gives me a channel to send my products down if they're slow on Amazon. But I haven't had the defect issue. Maybe I do have it, and I just don't know about it.
No, because what it did was it took me from they took away the power seller emblem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everything else was good. It was just the defects. And that's why I asked him. If the feedback is good and everything's great and the shipping was fast, I mean, what's the defect? And that's
is there a place to look that up, or?
I don't know. That's why I called.
Okay.
I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't have one negative feedback.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So and I'd already been reading about Amazon for about 5-6 months at that time and watching videos.
Yeah.
So I just decided, forget eBay. I'm done with that garbage, and I just went to Amazon because I was like, this is ridiculous. Now if the shipment was late or the item was broken or whatever the case may be, then we got something to talk about. But to give me a defect just because of an Amazon box, because I'm assuming that what they were thinking is I was drop shipping stuff from Amazon. I'm assuming that's what the eBay customer was thinking. I mean, that's the only assumption I can come up with.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I saw right there, Diane said that we can ship with an unbranded plain box, but there's some things you have to give up to do that. Like you have to go to that type of shipping that's more expensive with Amazon. Like I think because not all their warehouses will ship in a plain box. So then what you have to do is you have to change your shipping plan to only send items to those warehouses that will ship out inventory in plain boxes, and so then your shipping cost to ship into Amazon go up. And I'm not into that yet at all. Like I can't even really afford a prep service yet. Every penny I spend, I just am so conscious about where I'm putting that, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, no, I haven't gotten the defect rates. I mean, I'm still getting good positive feedback. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, right? I'm not that worried about it, I guess. Did you notice that your sales dropped when you lost your power seller thing, or?
Actually, to be honest with you, it didn't. It's just the whole thing pissed me off, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then the problem I had right after that was I did the 2-day shipping and all that stuff to get that fast and free emblem on my listings. And then it would show up one day it was on 50% of the listings. One day it was on 30%. One day it wasn't on any of them. And I asked them about that, and they said, well, we got to send that to the tech department and let them check it out. And then 3 days later, it'd be on all of them, and then 2 days later, it was gone again.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know,
this is the thing, right? Like we're in a technology game, right? I mean, shit's gonna be broken. You know, like
well,
it's
no, I just wanted it to, you know, and that's what I said to them. I said, I just wanted it to be a fair playing ground for everybody.
sure.
We're all in the same playground. You know, why does his say fast and free, and we have the same exact listing?
Yeah.
And mine doesn't. It's just one more thing that they'll pick him over mine.
Because he's better looking than you, man.
But whatever the point is, you know, I just got sick of that garbage.
You know, I'm not saying like I prefer to do everything through Amazon, obviously, right? But having all your eggs in one basket is risky, and you know, and sometimes you buy inventory that you thought you were going to be able to sell for profit on Amazon, and it turns out that oh nope, it changed too fast before you got the product in, and you're not making the money that you thought you were going to make, right? So then Amazon's a great channel to sell through, because I found anyway that I'm paying less in fees through eBay than it's crazy. Like eBay keeps giving me free listings and you know, all kinds of stuff, right? So it's just
they were giving me. Yeah, I was getting free listings too. I had an eBay store and everything.
I mean, I don't even have that yet, man. I'm just like winging it right now. It's almost terrifying when I get orders through eBay. You know, because I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure I get that. You know, like I have 1 day handling process, you know, 1 day handling.
Right.
And I like to push it to the edge because like if somebody changes their mind and they ask for a refund, I don't want the thing to already be in the mail to them. You know, so like I try to let that 1 day handling, you know, go full cycle. You know, so that by the time I print out the shipping label, I'm still in under the wire, but I've given them the maximum amount of time to change their mind. So
Sure.
I'm not sending them a free product. But I mean, it's stressful to sell on eBay. You know, like I have my little phone and I hear those ding, ding. You know, oh great, people are bidding. Oh no, I'm gonna have to ship something. Oh, you know, and so anyway, it's just different. But
Yeah, I wish Amazon would give us that ka-ching.
you're too obsessed with your daily sales, man. Although I am too. I check my app 20 times a day. I'm really bad. You know.
But I am, you know, since starting App Eagle, I am checking a lot less because I'm getting so many emails that they've adjusted, you know, prices and stuff like that. I used to check my emails all the time.
Hey, so
And,
what level are you with App Eagle? Because I'm only getting like 2 emails a day, and I did their low-end plan, like their $50 a month plan or whatever.
That's what I'm doing too, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I just haven't went in the settings and turned that off or something. But I'm getting like 50 emails a day, you know.
Yeah, I'm
And
getting
so,
like 50 a day too.
so before I'd be looking at my sales on Amazon on the seller app, and then I would be checking my email to see if I've shipped anything. And so, but now I don't do that as much. So that I mean,
I'm
getting
really
better.
disappointed. I'm disappointed about the stuff that App Eagle took away from. You know, like I had these great strategies set up. You know, I don't like that you can't set up a strategy that takes, like if Amazon's on a listing, that takes that into consideration. You know, that they just do their default handling of Amazon. It's man, it's so frustrating to not have that flexibility. But I'm not going to pay that higher rate for their stuff yet. I don't, you know, I don't have an account that's big enough to justify it. You know, so.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking about with my trials up with App Eagle. I'm thinking about trying that Beagle.
Yeah, they'll give you half off your first month after your trial's over too. So,
Oh really? They didn't say that.
Yeah, they'll send you an email with the code, and it's $25.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but
whenever
it's
that
only for
comes out,
that first month, and
Yeah.
then you're still on that limited plan. You know, sucks.
right.
Like, anyway.
Yeah, and that's the other thing she was telling me when I was talking to her on the phone at App Eagle. She was telling me that they changed the prices. I think she said once an hour, but the
Yeah.
premium plan is every 15 minutes.
Yeah. Although I don't really think that that's that important. You know, I'd be willing to, like, if they would give a little bit more flexibility on the strategies, you know, so we could specify, you know, how things are handled. Like I said, when Amazon's on a listing, 'cause it's actually kind of important. You know, they could, shoot, I wouldn't care if they just updated my listings every couple hours. You know,
Yeah.
it's not really that important. You know, because most of the sellers that are out there, at least I think anyway, they're not modifying their prices even that often. You know, maybe once a day, maybe once every other day. You know, unless of course they have an app like App Eagle or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it's been an hour. I'm logging off.
Yeah. Yeah. The show's over. Thank you guys for hanging out and good talk tonight. Good issues. If anybody has any other questions, hit it up in the Facebook group, Amazon FBA Motivators, and you can send me a friend request if you like, Chris Piles. And thank you guys for hanging around for the whole hour. I mean, we had like a solid 8 people, so I'm very humble and appreciative of that. So
Was that like all of us just watching YouTube and
maybe we all just hopped in the chat, but I mean, I'm very thankful for you guys for hanging out and you know participating. But we'll see you guys next Monday. Maybe in a little bit I'll start a little after show hangout. If you guys want to come and hang out.
Chris, give our best to your wife and kids, man. It was fun seeing you guys the other night.
Thank you, man. That was awesome. We got to do it again. And
Yeah.
John, you got to join us one time, man.
Yeah, you guys left me out, man. Whatever.
But anyways,
All right,
thank
see you
you
later,
guys
man.
for watching the show. God bless.